Righty, so, okay, some people have raised some questions for the left, and as the left, I have been appointed. We've had one of our meetings, and we have decided, me, George Soros, and Bernie Sanders, we've got together, and we have decided that this time, me, the well-known leftist Petrospiracy, will be answering these questions for these prominent right-wing Nazis, and yeah, we'll just see how we go. So we'll start off with Alex Jones. He seems a presentable chap, doesn't he? And we'll just you know, excited, see what he's going to ask us today. So I'm sure he's got some very reasonable questions. So here we go.
About that, yeah. I mean, it's simple. I go to a restaurant whether white people, black people own it if the food's good.
You fucking racist. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe it. The audacity of this man. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Think of what George Takei would do. Okay.
We can get into it's Martin Luther King. About that, yeah. I mean, it's simple. I go to a restaurant whether white people, black people own it.
The food cannot be good if white people own it. Do you understand that food is contaminated? It is owned by slave owners. In fact, the food is the slave of the white people. But of course, you know, the food's not human, so you know, we don't protect the food, but the food is the slave of the slave owner, and the slave owners own restaurants now. I mean, it might look a little different than it did, you know, all those 5 years ago, but it's the same thing, I can assure you. It's the same thing. And you, by going there, you're going to a white person's restaurant. And you expect us to take you seriously? I don't think that question even needs an answer. Unbelievable.
The food's good. I buy music no matter what color they are if I like it.
Again, he buys music of all colours. He thinks that he's being a liberal. Well, as we all know, being a liberal means that you understand that white people are inherently evil. And that is what we're pushing as the left. And I would like to confirm that we're all in agreement on this. This is our main aim, in fact, is to push the fact that white people are evil, and we don't want white genocide per se, but we do want to eliminate white people by 2030. So just hope that clears it up for all these Nazis out there.
I always thought that was what was liberal, is you were open.
Whoa, you need to look up the definition of liberal, don't you then? Unbelievable.
Open to anything that you liked and enjoyed, and you were tolerant of others, not you will use our...
You were tolerant of the people who are deserving of tolerance. You were not tolerant of the people, you were not tolerant of the intolerant, of the races who have shown us in the past to be intolerant. White people are always horrible. It is just a fact that, you know, read some books.
Exact words, and you will do exactly as we say.
Of course, and now they've
And you will do exactly as we say.
tricked you to think that if you're a white guy wearing dreadlocks that you're somehow racist.
And you are. You're a racist by doing that. I don't know about tricked because, you know, we don't use mind control anymore. That was put to a stop. We agreed to stop that, and we haven't done it for a week. And we won't do it anymore. But we will push the idea that wearing dreadlocks as a white person is inexcusable. It's unacceptable. And anyone who entertains the idea that this is somehow permissible, this is disgusting, this is vulgar. And frankly, I'm not a supporter of the death penalty, but there needs to be some kind of system in place to deal with people who are persistently disobeying just morality by continuing to present themselves in this way, by wearing dreadlocks as a white person, as a slave owner, as a bastard, horrible Nazi. I mean, not all white people are Nazis, but all white people have Nazi blood, if that makes sense. We all have Nazi blood on our hands, and we all have the potential to be a Nazi. In the same way that all men have the potential to be rapists. It is the same thing, and if you don't know if a white person is a Nazi, you should just assume they are, because it's more likely. So that's what we're trying to push as the left. That is our beliefs. And again, as I said, you know, we've had a board meeting, so we are all in agreement on this.
And you're culturally appropriating, and
You are. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And these people, are these serious questions? Wearing dreadlocks is... You might as well just go ahead and sleep with my mother right now. Okay, Mundane Matt is asking me, the left, I'm going to give him an answer as to why I haven't condemned George Takei as the left. You know, I can't speak for the media, but the left. Why we haven't condemned George Takei. And it is because it's George Takei. Like, do I need to expand on this? He's been in Star Trek. I mean, obviously that's just one of his smaller achievements. But he has, you know, he's a meme lord. As Matt will say later in this video, he is a meme lord.
Right? Let's be fair. He's a meme lord. So.
And not only is he a meme lord, but he's a funny meme lord. His memes are funny. And he's always right. And if you want to be considered like us, a leftist, then it is mandatory that you first read up on the George Takei material. As I said, it's all he spreads the 100% truth all the time. He's a cool guy, you know. He's a cool chap. Yeah, and as for the claims, the ludicrous claims against him, of something he supposedly said that supposedly Matt has put in this video at some point, where he's talked about how, you know, his experience being molested or whatever, you know, as a kid. You know, I know Georgie. I know Georgie wouldn't do that. I know he wouldn't, and that is why I will defend him until the end of time. Whereas Milo is Hitler, so I will condemn him on the grounds that he is already Hitler.
They're two sides of a different coin in terms of how they approach these kind of social situations, but they do so using memes and internet humor, and people love them both for it.
And exactly, and as if you are on the right, then you are obliged to like Milo. You're obliged to. They make you, they force you. Whereas here on the left, you are strongly encouraged to like George Takei. And if you don't, then a leftist who doesn't like George Takei, you know, is that a government agent? And why should he be let off? Say he has done this thing. He's supposedly done. Say he has done it. Okay, let's just pretend for 1 second that he has committed this atrocious act. Okay. even though I know Georgie wouldn't. I know Georgie wouldn't do that, but let's pretend that he would. Then he would be forgiven. Because Georgie is one of those men. He is the modern day Martin Luther King. And people will look back on current times and everyone will be irrelevant but him, because he stands out. He has done more for the earth than anyone. And I will not stand for this slander. Just riles me up, sorry. I have to defend him. Because apart from anything, he's one of the members of our board meeting, so it would be rude of me not to, but yes, and George Soros told me to. But apart from that, you know, I would defend him anyway, because he is the father that I never had. You know. And how dare you insult him, Matt? How dare you? Alright, and it's that time in the video again. I'm going to be recommending some reading material for my fellow leftists. So, a lot of people go on about this sort of communist manifesto bullshit. This is what we need to read. This, right here, is George Takei's finest work. And this will tell you more than you need to know about anything. They say this is the only book that Ben Shapiro is scared of. This book is renowned in conservative circles. It's not talked about. Lauren Southern was going to interview George Takei and he destroyed her. She didn't even air it on Rebel Media. It was brushed under the carpet. They didn't mention it. They didn't want you to know that George destroyed her in open debate. And yes, he's the finest thinker of our time. So I really recommend you get this book, and it sheds some light on some very interesting cultural and social issues of our time. It really delves into it talks a lot about social justice warriors. Sargon of Akkad is mentioned. Generally, it's a really interesting read, and I recommend it for everybody. Alright, and this is our second book that I'm recommending today. It's called Oh My, There Goes the Internet, and this is a fascinating look into a sort of the culture of the internet. And it talks especially about trigger warnings. It goes on and on about safe spaces, and you can learn a lot just from reading this. It talks about how in the future we plan to have one universal safe space within which only George is allowed, literally. He will be dead by this point, it is assumed, which means that everyone will be dead, because the safe space will not allow anyone within it, because everyone will have unconscious biases against George Takei that they do not know, but can be verified scientifically. He talks about climate change and how not only is it destroying the Earth, but it has already destroyed the Earth 72 times over, we just haven't noticed. This kid is going places, I'm telling you.
Right? Again, they're on two different ideological sides of this coin. And that's the thing. Why is it okay for George to make those comments 11 years ago and not lose his Taco Bell sponsorship or not lose anything else he's done? But Milo makes comments a year ago and oh no, it's this huge thing ever. Again, the hypocrisy levels there are staggering. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I've stopped referring to myself as a liberal.
Now, as left-winger, I would like to say that I represent 100% of the views of the centre-left, the liberals who are centre-right. I represent the views of the left, the far left, you know, Billy Goats, just everybody. And I would like to say that we've all forgiven him. And it makes sense that Matt doesn't want to call himself a liberal anymore, on account of some things that people on the far left have done. And I'm fully behind him coming out and we need more people to openly declare their Nazism, so that we know who to kill when it comes to the apocalypse that we have set up. So in a few days now. So yeah, and again, you know, we don't want to kill all white people per se. This is not white genocide, but we would like to eliminate 90% of white people by 2030. It's just a means of, you know, balancing out kind of the effects of slavery. And we feel that, say if there's about maybe eventually our target is around a couple hundred white people globally, who will then, I think they will have been punished enough for the effects of slavery, and they will be allowed to continue their white culture or whatever it is they do, play baseball or whatever, you know. So we'll leave them to it at that point. So we're not monsters. We will not commit genocide. We will just slowly eliminate sort of 99.9% of the population, and then leave them to it. So again, you know, I'm just voicing the opinions of the whole left, the entire left. So it's not everybody's opinion, it's just everybody who's ever associated with the word left or uttered the word at some point in history. So yep, and I hope that clears it up for everybody. And if your opinion, if you consider yourself a leftist and you don't agree with what I've said in this video, then thank you. Could you please have that in writing so I can add you to our blacklist, and we will be sure to eliminate you within the next few years. So thank you for watching, and goodbye. I would just like to add to a point that I made earlier as well, and the fact that white people cannot be trusted. So yes, white people should not be trusted. Stay safe, and hope this message gets out. So thanks.